Well, folks, here we are again for the first official forecast of Market Journal in terms of the weather for 2013. And since we've been gone for the last 2 weeks, briefly update on what has occurred. Really not much of anything. The most important weather system moved through the state was on New Year's Eve, where we've seen a broad-based area of 2 to 4 inches across much of southern Nebraska, south of Interstate 80, and immediately portions of south central Nebraska, along the Kansas border. We've seen totals that approach the 7-8 inch mark. So some very welcome moisture. Unfortunately, it missed a lot of northern Nebraska. We had a lot of cold weather that hung in pretty firm over the state, and now that that is released, we're starting to see some gradual warming trend. The question is, how long will it last, and will we receive any significant moisture in the upcoming forecast period? So let's take a look at the upper models and see whether or not there is any precipitation in the forecast. And I'll draw your attention to this wave that is moving through today. We don't expect much in the way of any precipitation. More or less, we're going to see some clouds with a slight cool down in comparison to what we experienced yesterday. And then the system will quickly shift eastward. And as we go into tomorrow, what we're going to notice is the ridge really supplants itself into the Central Plains. And we should have a very nice day on Sunday. In fact, we're probably going to melt quite a bit of snow off as we see temperatures that are going to start to move up into the upper 30s to the low 40s. But I'll draw your attention to a system to the west that is expected to start making its way into our region as we get into Monday. And by the time we get to Monday, you can see this trough dig very deep down into the southwestern United States and is expected to start moving its way toward the northeast. And there's a lot of cold air behind this, so the question becomes, will the cold air get here in time to cause any significant weather problems in Nebraska? And it appears that most of its energy will stay south of us, and we will just see a few flurries, and then that system will start to make its way toward the east of us, and we'll see some much cooler air trying to make its way in, but it's more of a Pacific Ocean air mass is going to move over the Rockies, so there could be some downsloping and some additional warming across western Nebraska. As we get into Wednesday, we'll see some little ridging once again taking place with another fast-moving system coming into the western United States. So we are going to see a warm-up of temperatures briefly, and then we'll see a much more significant warm-up as we get into Thursday, because the system is going to dive very deep once again into the southern Rockies, and we're also going to see a cold polar vortex up in the northern plains, and these two are going to emerge and create a pretty potential snowstorm for some portion of the plains. So keep an eye on the weather and the updated forecast, because there is a lot of variability in where the system is going to develop, and it could be a rather significant maker in terms of weather. By the time we get to Friday, that system will all move to the east, and notice that we have a very cold northwest flow, and we could see some very chilly temperatures moving into our region on Friday. So as we look toward the temperatures, what we're going to notice is for this weekend, we're going to see temperatures basically in the 30s, and then on Sunday we're going to warm up, and then we'll see temperatures slightly start to cool down on Tuesday with that cold front, and then a gradual warm up back up into the 40s to 50s on Wednesday, and then we start to see the cool down with the potential for a little bit of light snow toward the end of the week. In terms of 8 to 14 day forecast, you can see the cold weather remains in place, and in terms of precipitation, it looks like we might see a couple systems making our way through the state in the extended forecast.